Season 5 of Superior Angling TV is brought to you by Holden Insurance Agency and the rest of our fabulous sponsors.
Good morning and welcome to this episode of Superior Angling. It's dark, it's windy, it's kind of cold, but we are out here on the ice. Now what this episode is all about is finding lakes that have ice. Now, it is November, and it has been a warm November at that. Most of the lakes around the state have open water. There are very, very, very few lakes that have ice. Here, we are on it, and we actually have four-wheelers as well. Yes, we previously scouted this, and we know it's safe, so that's why we are out here in the dark. Plus, we have our Striker full flotation suits on. We have extra safety equipment just in case, but a lot of preparation and scouting went into this trip, and we are here on ice. Now, why is this lake iced over? It's because it's shallow, 5-6 feet. I think the max depth is even 7 or 8 feet. Now, I've never ice fished this lake before, but we identified it on a map. We know there's walleyes in here, and we are out here when a lot of other lakes around the state are open water, and most ice anglers are sitting at home waiting for the water to freeze. So we are out here on the ice. We're gonna get some holes drilled. Again, it's dark. We're out here in the dark because it's kind of a clear body of water as well, shallow. You mix clear water with shallow water, early season walleyes. It's primarily a early morning and late evening bite. So we wanted to make sure that we were out here plenty early to get some holes drilled, lines in the water. Let's get after it. All right, we got our holes punched. Now it's time to get some rods in the water. But first, shallow lakes are often very structureless. Like where do you fish, where do you start can be, and that's even a challenge for us, right? Like there's not one defined area. And again, I've never ice fished this lake in my life either. So weeds, shallow lakes often have weeds. Now we've kind of identified an area via Google Earth that would, kind of outside of a bay that would have weeds, and that's where we're positioned right now. We're just going to be jigging and again using spoons. We're going to set out a couple ifish pros with a treble hook and a minnow and get them down there. But I know that we're adjacent to weeds, and that's the one thing about shallow bodies of water. You guys will be very, very surprised at how much walleyes live in weeds year-round. I mean, almost like a pike does. Walleyes do that year-round in pretty much every single body of water that's out there. Walleyes love weeds. Now, it's hard to fish, which is why a lot of us aren't too comfortable fishing in the weeds and why we don't do it very much. But there's walleyes in weeds, and that's what we're going after today. Shallow bodies of water. We're on the ice. Let's get these rods in the water. All right, let's grab our MX7 and our ifish Pro and come and set this up here. Now I don't know exactly if there's going to be weeds in this hole or not. If there are, I want this bait right above those weeds. I don't want this to get down in those weeds. So let's see. Yeah, so there are a couple weeds in this hole, which is good. I like that. So I'm just going to try to find where we are there and get this minnow to swim right above those weeds, and hopefully a walleye is going to come eat it soon. But windy, but again, early ice, I love it because if we weren't on this lake, pretty much the only other fishable lake in the state right now is Red Lake, and that's very, very predictable. Red's always has good early ice, but Red Lake is a very predictable bite. You kind of know what you're going to catch. I like the unknown. I like the unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen on this lake. It could be a total bust, or we could catch fish, and I don't know the caliber or even quality of fish that are in here. We're going to find out today. This is exciting. Fish.
There he is. Nice fish.
I was just coming over to
There we go.
Fish Pro.
Oh, there he is.
It's stuck on the bottom of the ice.
Got him? Awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that fish.
Hey, that's the first one in the morning, man.
Nice walleye.
That's the first one of the morning.
Cool.
I was just going over to check that iFish Pro because it is windy, and it's been about 20 minutes, half hour since we got lines in the water. This is our first sign of life, man.
Yeah. Nice one to start.
Look at that fish.
Awesome.
I love when they do that.
Awesome.
But, you want to keep this?
Yeah, let's keep that one.
But we are in such shallow water. I mean, literally only, what's your hole here? I have this deucer right at the top of the ice. That's like 5.5 feet. Plus you have some weeds down there. And these walleyes, you know, swim down in the weeds and they see your bait up above them when they come and hit it. So, I mean, you set the hook, I mean, they're right there. So it's always fun to catch walleyes out of deep water, but hey, we'll take the shallow water stuff. That's a nice eater there.
Nice fish.
17 incher or so. Huh? Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful. What lure?
There's a little spoon here.
Gold?
Yeah, gold and a little white back
All right,
on
that's
them.
our first key to the day is gold. I've been ripping that buds though, and I haven't called anything in, so maybe I'll look at it more.
We got a little tail on the end of that.
This is a pretty subtle profile. I mean, it's a little gold spoon that can't weigh more than an eighth of an ounce. So yeah, awesome. That's a good start to the day, and a windy and cold one that is. Whoa, Grant. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Watch this deadeye load up. Got him. Nice. What is it? That's a walleye. That's a walleye. Look at that. He inhaled that treble hook. You can't even see it. We'll get that unhooked after because we're gonna probably put this fish on the ice. But iFish Pros are super, super effective, but you gotta babysit them in conditions like these. The wind is blowing so hard, and in a little bit here I'll go over some tips on what to do when it's really windy and snowy, blowing snow like this. You just gotta, I've almost spent as much time babysitting these iFish Pros as I have jigging, but it pays off here with this fish. I mean, it's not a monster fish, but it's a walleye on the ice under conditions that I don't think are quite ideal, and on a lake that I've never ice fished before. So that's a walleye on the ice. Let's get another one. All right, we're gonna get this one reset here, and I'm gonna kind of show you guys what I'm talking about in terms of kind of technically making sure that these iFish Pros are not only set right, but all the other components that go along with it are going to be in your favor for when a fish does hit. Again, on days where it's not windy and it's warm out, you don't have to worry about 90% of this stuff. So I'm going to scoop all the ice out. I'm going to put this in like I normally do. I'm going to put my flag down. I like to have it on the lightest setting possible. Okay, the wind is coming. This is where it gets a little bit technical. The wind is coming this way. If I have my rod sitting up here, look where the slack line is. It's going to be blowing over my iFish Pro. That flag pops up, the line gets tangled in the flag, the fish feels resistance, the fish swim away. You're not going to catch fish. So I always want to have my rod downwind of the flag. So that wind right now, I have some slack line out. That wind is blowing the slack down away, not over my iFish Pro. So this flag can raise up, nothing is going to get caught. Second thing is wind, snow, ice build up down into here. A lot of times on your hole, you're going to get ice, and the clip for the iFish Pro can't slide through the ice. So I'm constantly walking around every 10-15 minutes and checking to make sure my hole is clear and you know, free of ice. Lastly, I like to have, this is the Okuma, I think the Samars. They have a bait feeder drag on them, which is essentially just a quick setting for the lightest drag possible, and it can pull out. I don't want to leave my bail open on really windy days like this, because what's going to happen, the wind's going to blow my line, and I'm going to have 50 feet of line out that's tangled around ice chunks down there. What I want to do is have a little bit of slack, maybe 3-4 feet, enough where it's not going to get caught on any ice, turn this bait feeder feature on, and put it in the rod holder like that. So now when this trips, I know for a fact my line's not going to get caught on any ice. I'm not going to have ice build up in my hole, and everything, the line's not going to get caught on the flag. So those are just kind of your three main points of concern when you have weather like this. I can definitely, if you pay attention to them and practice them, you're going to put more fish on the ice with these tools. There's that ifish pro. ifish pro. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. So right now I got this bait feeder on that fish can just take line, and you know, you don't always get here instantly. That's the nice thing about the ifish pro is you hear them go off, but you might be, you know, 20 feet that way. You have to get over here. All right, this thing's not really running much anymore. So now I'm just gonna, again, this is the Deadeye CCI. I'm just gonna let this rod tip load up and then set the hook. See that rod tip? There it is, got him. Nice, nice. That's what I love about these rods. You can visually read what's going on down there. If you have a really stiff, you know, kind of a rod that's too big for the occasion, you're not gonna be able to, we might have a pike, you're not gonna be able to read what's going on down there, what that fish is doing. Those fish hit those minnows, and then they run, and then they stop, and then when they start to go again, that's when you want to set the hook. And with this rod, you can really tell what that fish is doing down there. I hope it's a walleye. No, we got a northern. We got a snot rocket. That's all right though. I like northern. I like northern, especially on a day like today where we're so limited on the lakes and areas that we can fish. Just to be able to get out here on the ice and catch anything is a blast. That's a nice pike. Look at that. Look at, you want to talk about a lucky hook job. Right almost on the outside of the lip. He was not going to break us off. But again, that's just the benefit of a rod, that you can visually see what's going on down there, what that fish is doing with your bait. The Deadeye from CCI, one of my favorite rods for the ifish pro. Let's get this pike back in the water. See ya. Alrighty, so what we are gonna do now is kind of move. I think we're over this spot. We're just kind of, I think we've seen all that there is to see here. So we're just gonna pack things up, jump on the quads, and move not very far. Again, when looking at this lake, yes, it's a decent sized lake. It's not huge by any means, but there's a lot of fishable water out here. I kind of like this area because I know that there's big weeds back here that stick above the surface, and then the weeds kind of slowly end. And you know, you see that in the summertime, or you can even see it from like Google Earth. So these clouds are breaking up, our snow is stopping, the wind's dying, so that's good. We're gonna probably have sunshine here very soon is what it's looking like. So hopefully that's gonna improve the bite, change it for the better. It can't make it much worse, although that wasn't a bad morning. I mean, I'll take 2 walleyes and a bunch of pike any day of the week, so that's not bad at all. But I think there's bigger things in store for us. Let's pack up and head over there. So on shallower lakes like these, your advantage is you can get out here early season and ice fish when other lakes are still frozen. Your disadvantage though is they're shallow. That means when that sun gets higher in the sky, usually your bite goes down the window. So you really got to take advantage of that morning and evening bite. But what do you do during the middle of the day? You don't want to go home. You don't want to, you want to fish. You're out here to fish and have fun. So you really got to be more precise in your location. So I have 2 tools right now. A good electric auger that's lightweight that I can run around with, and a handheld underwater camera like the Markham Pursuit HD. So with this right now, I know there's a weed line out here. I'm gonna find that weed line. So what I'm gonna do is drill, check, walk, drill, check. If I see weeds, I'm gonna backtrack and find that weed line. I wanna know right where that line is so I can set up either right off it or right in the weeds. I don't know where the fish are gonna be on a day-to-day basis. You just don't really know, but it's good to have options in either one. So with this, it's just easy. You just punch a quick hole, you grab your underwater camera, we drop it down, And right here I can see that there are no weeds down there. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this up. Again, super lightweight, super mobile, it's easy to transport with, and I'm gonna walk this way. And now I'm gonna drill a hole right here. So we're just gonna pop a hole. We're gonna grab our Pursuit. I just keep this on. Batteries are pretty good on it. I'm gonna drop it down right here. I can see that there are weeds here. There's taller weeds sticking up right here. So I know that between right here and this first hole I drilled, that there is the weed line that these fish are gonna probably be traveling on. Again, peak times of the day, it probably doesn't matter if you're on this exact precise location, but when that sun gets higher, the bite gets tougher on these shallow lakes. Again, there's only 5 feet of fishable water right here, very, very shallow. So it's a little more, you know, use all the available tools you have to get the upper advantage on the fish.
It's the coldest hand.
I'm feeling kind of optimistic about this spot here. You know, very early morning, very late evening. Your location is not that critical. Your walleyes are the most active that they're going to be throughout the day. But when the sun gets a little bit higher, your spot on the spot becomes way more critical. And I just saw a flash come in. And we took our Markham Pursuit camera and we found the exact weed line here. But right there, there is fish. There's weeds. That feels like a good one. Come on, look at this. Look at that walleye. Barely hooked. Right on the tip of the snout. That happens fast when you're in 6 feet of water. Come on, look at that. She's not happy. We're gonna keep that one for dinner. That's a nice eater. But what I'm saying is right here, there's no weeds. Right here, there's weeds. And the only reason we found this hole is because this Markham camera right here. I drop it down, we're in weeds. Right there, there's none. This is that line, that transitions line where these walleyes are gonna swim. So as that sun gets higher, location becomes even more imperative. Nice walleye on the ice. ifish Pro. There we go. Got him. That's a big fish. This is that midday weed line, man. This is it. This is, what is it gonna be? Look at this. How much fun is this? This is a battle. Come on, baby. Look at that, baby. Yes, that's a nice walleye. ifish Pro. We just had a lull of maybe an hour and a half. This thing's going, I'm just letting them go. I'm just letting them go. Hour and a half lull. And now I think these, look at this rod load up. See, he's kind of stopped. This deadeye rod from St. Croix. Look at this rod tip. Got him. You see that, that's how imperative it is to have a good high quality rod. And I can just visually see everything that's going on. This feels like a big fish. I think he got tangled in some weeds when he ran there. This is gonna be a good walleye. This is gonna be a good walleye, guys. This is what it's all about. Oh my gosh. There's our bobber stop. Yeah, see, there's the weeds that we're talking about down there. That's why these walleyes are here. Ooh, that's a good fish. That's a good fish, man. That's why those walleyes are here. I love it. Look at that walleye. That's a beautiful, beautiful fish, guys. On a November day when pretty much, you know, I'd say 70-80% of the ice fishing crowd is sitting at home and the other, you know, maybe 20% on Red Lake, we're here all to ourselves catching beautiful, beautiful walleyes with the sun in the sky. It's warm right now. I mean, it can't get any better than this. And we are out here catching beautiful walleyes. This is all you can ask for, man. We're gonna get this girl unhooked and back down in the water. A lot of nice weeds in the grass. So I'm jigging right above the weeds. If I'm down in there, you know, chances are I'm gonna get weeds on my hook. So I'm just trying to stay right above them. I feel like that'll grab the attention of a fish more. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Got him. Ooh. That's a big perch. Oh my goodness. Look at the size of that perch. Oh, baby. That is a sumo. Oh my gosh. That's big. That's the fun part about fishing in the weeds is, you know, you don't know what you're going to catch. Yes, walleyes are in there. I'm sure there's plenty of pike and big, big perch, man. That's a nice fish. That is fun. I just saw him, and let me get him unhooked here. We might keep this one for our fish fry too. Look at that, guys. That's a beautiful, beautiful fish. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at those orange fins. We're gonna throw him on the ice, but so when you're jigging down in the weeds, you have your static lines on your Markham, and I'm trying to use a narrow beam transducer angle as well to keep the least amount of weeds and interference off the screen as possible, but you're still gonna have those lines. Get used to what those lines look like. If anything deviates from that, it's probably gonna be a fish. Yes, there's a little bit of current down there. Sure, the weeds kind of flicker in and out, but if you see a mark going up or down, that's likely gonna be a fish. So just kind of look at your graph, especially when you're fishing in weeds, and memorize what you're seeing. And using the chart mode, kind of the open water graph mode on your electronics too, can definitely play dividends when you're fishing in weeds. But that here is just on a little VMC spoon, trying to go with a perch colored pattern with a minnow head on it. That got this big sumo, man. That's a big perch. That's awesome. All right, it's getting dark here. We are gonna be making our way back to the truck. It's cooling off and we have had a fabulous, fabulous day here. Early ice. It's still late November. It's not even December yet. So pretty fortunate to be out here. Yes, a lot of times there's a lot of other lakes that are frozen, but when you have a warm, early start to the winter, you know, right around mid-November, if it starts to warm up, really look at the map. Find those shallow lakes that are 5, 6, 7, 8 feet deep. They're gonna hold, you know, a lot of them do have walleyes in them. Yes, it's a little bit different. You're not fishing rock piles and points, and you know, we're in here in the weeds catching these walleyes. It's a little bit different, but these lakes freeze up fast with safe ice. You know, we definitely stress safety a lot, especially early season like this. But you know, plenty safe out here, where a lot of lakes, as you guys saw, are open all around us. There's open water all around us. You could be in a boat fishing on them, but this one right here is iced over, and we're putting beautiful fish on top. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.